Over the past 5 or 6 seasons, Europe's influence in American football is growing. Pretty much every club in Europe will have a youth team. These youth teams are usually made to feed the senior teams at a semi or professional level. However, there are other clubs with the sole intention to produce European athletes that are ready to go to Division 1 football. Not every athlete in Europe will choose to go the European route. Some also choose to go to high school in America. Ruben Gap being the most notable, as well as Santa Margarita, New Mexico Military Institute, and Clearwater Academy, who have all hosted European athletes. Jaden Jamal Han, the defensive lineman from Santa Margarita, is one of them. Like a lot of international recruits, JJ is from Germany, and it may seem familiar for those who are fans of high school American football of Santa Margarita and German defensive linemen. That is because Hiro Kanu, current Ohio State defensive lineman, was in the very same position. At 6'5", 280 pounds, JJ is a 3-star recruit holding offers from Nebraska, Arizona, and Washington State. JJ is one of the finest German defensive linemen and is expected to commit in the class of 2025. Onis Konambani is one of the heaviest recruited Europeans in history of American football in Europe. He holds both British and French citizenship and has accompanied 43 offers thus far. He, like JJ, is still housed in America, formerly of Raven Gap High School, and now is at Heathwood. He's one of the very few Europeans to have a 4-star official grade. Onis's visiting schedule is pretty stacked. He is scheduled to visit Florida State, North Carolina, Penn State, and Tennessee within the next couple of months. When he commits, he'll be in the class of 2025, and he is honestly one of the most exciting prospects that we've ever seen come out of Europe. As someone that's known Onis since the Kent Exile days back in the UK, it's incredible to me that he's been able to collect so many high quality offers. His incredible length and athleticism and mentality is what has got him this far, and I'm extremely excited to see where he lands. I think that he is probably the player I'm most excited to see translate to the college level. Of his offers, he has narrowed it down to just 10, so it'll be exciting to see where he ultimately chooses to play his college football in 2025. Juan Flores Calderón is probably what most people in the European scene think of when they think of a Wonderkid. He's been part of the Milano Seaman organisation and has produced many great Italian talents. He has Italian and Spanish heritage. At only 19 years old, won Rookie of the Year in the European League of Football, which is the highest professional league in Europe. No European has ever got 1,000 yards in the 4 years of the league history, but Flores Calderón got 817 yards and 9 touchdowns, which is pretty damn close considering he was a 19-year-old at the time playing against former Division 1 athletes in some cases. He is somewhat considered the young gem of the ELF at the moment, and I think that's well deserved given that he has had such a high level production even without playing college football in America. Brian Winter is actually my pick for one of the Rookie of the Year contenders in the 2024 ELF season. Brian is part of the illustrious NFL Academy as a receiver and has joined the Rhein Fire for the 2024 season. He is German but also holds Malaysian heritage and started playing his football for the Cologne Crocodiles, which is one of those teams that has produced so many talented Germans throughout the decades. He has a Division 1 offer from Campbell University but has chosen to play in the ELF for this season. His speed and fluid movement have allowed him to compete with American DBs at the highest level, and he has showed that with his games for the NFL Academy. At the Rhein Fire, I think he's going to see significant progress, and I think he's going to turn out to be one of the best young players in the league. He's only 19 and he's already considered to be one of the biggest ELF newcomers. Because of his history against American defensive backs at high school level and his aforementioned Division 1 offer that he has chosen not to take for this season. We are far from done when it comes to the NFL Academy prospects. Arthur de Boucher is another very highly touted player out of the Netherlands. He holds multiple offers, notably Boise State, Florida A&M, Campbell, and Fordham University. He's really been a spearhead of a lot of Dutch players that are really coming through the system and are proving themselves to be phenomenal athletes. For the NFL Academy in 2023 and 2024, he has really broken out as one of their best players. Boise State is a favourite for most websites. Wherever he goes, he's going to make an impact this season. He has shown he can be a player on offense, on defense, and on special teams, as an elite returner, as a player that can be an extension of the run game, a player that can be an extension of the pass game, a player that can turn the ball over. He really can do it all, and I think that he's going to have great success in translating to the next level. The last of the NFL Academy prospects, but kicking off the Swedish prospects, is Brandon Bryant. Now he's Swedish, but he also holds Trinidad and Tobago heritage. He played his youth football at Kristianstad Predators as a quarterback and also at Helsingborg Jaguars. He's now found his way into the NFL Academy as a corner and holds a Division 1 offer also from Campbell University. His length and frame make him another great player coming out of Sweden in the class of 26. On Europe's Elite, 3 of the top 4 players in the class of 26 are all from Sweden. He is likely going to be playing Division 1 football somewhere in the next couple of years, and considering he already has an offer from Campbell and he's not ready to commit for a while, means that he could start stockpiling those as soon as possible. Moving to the interior line, Adrian Bekabele, another Swedish prospect as we mentioned before, is part of the academy of RIG, which has produced some of the best Swedish talents ever. Division 1 players, ELF players, players that are coming through every season through Sweden into Division 1 are very likely to be from the RIG Academy. The Teresa Royal Crowns is another team that he's highly associated with, but he holds offers from Florida, Buffalo, and from Georgia. He is 6'3½", 290 pounds in the class of 2026, and like most players in Europe, he grew up playing soccer, ice hockey, and also floorball, which is rather interesting. He is the top ranked player on the class of 2026 on Europe's Elite, although not ranked on 24/7 Sport. On Europe's Elite, he is a 2-star prospect, with the expectation is that he'll be a 3-star prospect by the end of this year. A very similar player to Adrian in terms of how much attention they've been getting, the position, and the country they're from, is Valentin Son. However, he does also have Cameroonian heritage and is in the class of 27 rather than the class of 26. Standing at 6'5", 287 pounds out of the Linham Griffins, Valentin is one of the highest recruited players over the last couple of seasons, especially in the class of 2027 for Europe. According to 24/7 Sports, he holds 8 offers. Those offers are LSU, Auburn, Miami, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. Another former soccer player, but also with background in Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu, make Valentin an excellent athlete. It isn't much of a surprise that he is the top ranked player in the class of 27 on Europe's Elite. Adrian and Valentin are kind of seen as the next generation of European defensive linemen. They are 2 phenomenal players and are undoubtedly going to get more eyes on Europe because of the attention that they have created themselves through their offers. To have that level of offer in the class of 27 is just absolutely incredible. Now last but certainly not least, Viktor Askolov is a player that I've been watching for years since he was on the Finnish national team where he won silver. He's come through the Helsinki Roosters, and Finland have such a rich history in producing offensive linemen. It is not a surprise that he is the next one up in the class of 25. In class of 23 we had Otis Ilonen. So it's no surprise that Finland, as well as Sweden, have become a big powerhouse in development of talent across the countries. He can play a tackle or a guard, translates probably best to the next level as a guard at 6'4", 305 pounds. He has the size to play either of them. He played Texas high school football, which is a different level to Europe. He also has just finished his mandatory military service, which, if you didn't know, in Finland you have mandatory military service, which means he is in the class of 2025. He's a 3-star prospect that comes with aggression, great run game potential as a player on either side of the line. I honestly think a lot of Viktor. He's one of the players I've had on my boards for years. I do think that he has Division 1 ability. And that is going to conclude this video here with the Wonderkids. There are hundreds I could have talked about, honestly. I really wanted to do like a top 25, top 30 players and just go through UFC and talk about all of them, but that would have taken forever, and this editing process was already long because of the assets and taking the time to make everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this was a bit of a change of pace. I wanted to try something new, which wasn't just me in front of it. I wanted to put a bit of something, just kind of like, you know, just to have a little bit of something to people to look at, even if it was just simplified graphics. I watched a lot of like the TIFO football stuff, and I enjoy watching that, so thought I might try and put a little bit of that into my video, which took a really long time and might not see again unless this one does really well and people enjoy it, but good fun. All these guys deserve their flowers. They are outstanding pioneers of European American football, and someone who has watched many of them for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it's just great to see. You know, you like to see people develop, and you like to see these guys coming into Division 1 football, proving that we're not just Europeans. I think that is a thing that's been around for a while. It's just European, like that we don't compete, and we do. These guys have showed that we're dominating, and for them to have the biggest offers in the country is incredible. Or to be dominating in Europe is also incredible at such a young age. It's fantastic to watch. Really enjoyed making it, and just, you know, looking at all the offers of these guys. I know they had them, but some like Onus, for example, I didn't know he had 43. I thought he had about 30. And that's someone that had messaged me in like I want to say 2019 at like an Elite Britain page, and he was low in the rankings on Europe's Elite, which this video is sponsored by for the rankings of Europe's Elite, and I do a lot of stuff over there, and all the people that I work with and we rank, and it's a media source. This is technically sponsored by UFC because I work for them. And Onus messaged me with all the receivers above him in the rankings and sent me one-on-ones of them against him. I was like, why am I not higher? And since that moment, I was like, I think this guy is going to be a serious problem. So he was on my gem series I had on my Elite Britain page. So that one's aged quite well. Same with Daniel Akinkambi was another person I nearly had on this list, but he's already in Oklahoma, so it's kind of a difficult one for him. He's kind of already made that transition, but he would be a person I'd like to talk about at some point. From all the way from the Sheffield Giants all the way to Oklahoma's pretty incredible. So I'm rambling a lot. I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams over the next couple of days for the ELF games. I want to do another player evaluation. I would like to do more high school football and college football stuff as well, because as someone who is all European ball, I don't talk about the NFL. I don't talk about college football ever, unless there's a European involved. I don't have a college football team I support. I usually just support whoever's got the most Europeans. So it would be good to just talk about some of the guys to root for. I might do that as like a list as well, like 10 guys going into college you should know. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of those ideas. I think that's all I've got. So yeah, thank you for Europe's Elite for sponsoring. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you again, and